8 years of running Facebook ads as a marketing expert in about 30 to 60 minutes. Let's go. Now, this doc is down in the description. You get it, download it. I've just put all my thoughts here of nearly 30 notes, and I'm sure there's more, but these are ones that I wanted to discuss. Now, I'll be going through this also in the ad account a bit as well, that I just sort of wanted to more discuss. So let's just get straight into it. So make sure your ad account is secure, right? So under your business information, you got your security center. Seriously, do not undervalue this. Make sure that everyone has two-factor turned on, verification. This is just a testing business account, so obviously I haven't done that. You go through all of these, domain security, trusted website domains, backup admin, do it all. Even if you are the own backup admin where you make a secondary account, do it. I have had business managers compromised because of staff accounts. I've had a number of things happen, and it's cost me a lot of money. And so make sure as well that you do that. It's just good practice, helps you sleep better at night. It doesn't take long. It's a little bit more work, but it's worth it, right? Security is something very important. There is a lot of hacking that happens when it comes to Facebook ads. Make sure you verify, as I said, you verify your business manager. That's so you don't get suspended, and it gives you more security and support. And again, make sure with your domain as well, it takes 5 seconds. Once you've done it, it is there, and it's just a way of removing most people, any third party you're removing for the most part there. One thing as well, it's annoying, right, is you as you build your ad account, you will get pop-ups to say, book a call with your blah, blah, blah dedicated account manager. You'll also get calls. I regularly get calls. And I ignore them because they obviously use your contact details, call you directly. A lot of their team that they use, I think, are from Philippines or something. They're just trained marketing experts. And they'll give you generic advice, right? Very generic, right? Honestly, just go on YouTube, just, watch some of my videos or some other people's videos that are, really good at Facebook ads. And you don't really need these people. Honestly, just do that, because but the reason you have them is that contacting Facebook support is notoriously difficult. They have improved it a lot. There is live chat in there, but even now, I can't remember how you get to it. I haven't done it in a while, but it's always a pain in the ass. Really is. Trust me. I think you can, historically, we'll just send you to articles and stuff. So having this person at times, they can help you escalate. I have had a couple of instances. Most of the time it doesn't, but it just keep the door open, okay? So be prepared for number 6 we're up to, for ad account suspensions, right? I've had many of those, especially if you're in dropshipping. There's a reason why so many people in dropshipping, they get ad account suspensions and bans, okay? Building a brand, you'll most likely at max get a suspension. And most of the time, if I'm honest, the suspensions is actually because a credit card fails. So it's more a billing issue and they just pause the ads. But please that's another note, make sure your credit card and stuff always has cash on it. You'll see some points. I'll get to it in a moment. But, you can get things where the algorithm on the back end is updated and your account could be flagged, right? Most of the time you just lodge an appeal and within 24 hours it's fixed, but it's scary, right? You can't control it. So, that's part of the reason why I think dropshipping is definitely good, but why you want to build more a brand, right? You speak to most dropshippers and stuff that do it specifically. That's why a lot of them use TikTok. It's a lot more flexible there, is that on Facebook, they're very, very, very strict on this because, dropshipping is seen as a bit of a scummy model at times in that sense, and so that they can be a lot harsher because that's why they implemented your page score, just to sort of make sure that you are a business providing genuine value. So make sure you check your page score. You can check that. I always forget that too. I haven't done it in some time. Always. I'm pretty sure it's been a while. I think you go, there used to be like a home, but because they always change this literally day by day. It can, there we go, business support home. have a look here. Just check here as well. It does give recommendations. Just have a look. Most of it you don't really need, honestly, but I always just have a look and always like to double check, okay, just to be on the safe side, okay? So you can see, like, I got some, I don't know what this is, from ad accounts ages ago, and just have a look, do I have any restrictions? Because as well, you can even have restrictions where your personal account could be banned for whatever reason. So just be careful. Just have a check here, and then you can give feedback as well. But anyway, that's not important. So most of this you won't need, but it's just important to keep in mind. Make sure you have multiple ad accounts, especially if you're a dropshipper. Most dropshippers will have multiple ad accounts anyway. But at least if you're a brand owner and stuff as well, whether you're in lead gen services or e-commerce, that you have a backup ad account, so that way you can get running as soon as possible if one ever gets banned or suspended. And sometimes it can be very prolonged depending on the issue. So just have that as a backup and make sure you have your permissions set up. I even go to the extent of actually having some campaigns in draft so that I can just be like, boom, 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 I've got my creatives, because you can't copy creatives between ad accounts. So you have to manually make them. So if you get some of your best ad creatives and ad copy and just have it in draft, don't publish it and turn it off. The reason is because I sort of alluded to this in some of the other points, is that it doesn't get the same result. You always want to schedule a campaign at midnight, your ad account time zone, and having it off and turning it on doesn't get the same results. Logically, it should. It shouldn't make any difference. But trust me, these are things that are outside of your control, right? So I always just have it in draft and just have it gone. I also make sure that my ad account has access, obviously, to the pixel, obviously to the audiences if I'm doing remarketing, just as a backup. I've had no situations, if I'm honest, where I've actually needed that, but I've had ad account suspensions before in the past, and if I were to have it now, I just have that as a backup. Because if it's 24 hours, okay, that's okay, but once it starts getting past that, it can really hurt your business and hurt what's called the learning phase. When every ad account will be different. So I've seen ad accounts where set up the exact same audiences, exact same creatives, fundamentally massive different results, right? Because it targets different subsets of people and it does get trained slightly different. So you just have to keep that in mind. If you have an ad account doing really, really, really well, and you want to have a backup as well, I would season a backup ad account, run ads the exact same way. It doesn't change anything about the customer. It just means you have two ad accounts seasoned, because it is an important thing if you want to do that as a pure backup. And I have seen people do that, because, as I said, Facebook is notorious for these types of issues. Make sure your permissions are locked down. So if you have a team and everything in there, make sure as much as possible that their permissions are locked down per asset, and that their permissions, let's say if they don't need admin, don't give them admin. I know the chances are low, however, it's important to keep that in mind. Set a monthly spending limit per ad account, right? So for me, I set it to, let's say, like $5,000. I can always just reset it in the middle of the month if I'm ever scaling or whatever. Excuse me. If I'm scaling and I just want to reset it for another 30 days. But having it there is an important thing, because if I ever got compromised or hacked, then that will stop after that. Now, obviously, if they got full access, they could remove that. But you get my point. If another individual then it sort of stops that. And that's why you want to lock down the permissions and lock down that. I even go to the next level of externally controlling that. I use Airwallex. That's just my preference. There's a number of them out there. There's Payoneer. I haven't use them, so I'm not going to attest to it. Anyway, is that having a virtual card is one of the most invaluable things. I've had platforms where I've been compromised, and I still actually use it after I fixed the being compromised, and I put a virtual card on it with the exact limit of how much I want to spend. So let's say it's $5,000. The card also has $5,000. So let's say someone took out removing the limit from Facebook. Well, the card has that limit too. So it's an extra layer that costs you nothing. The card works exactly the same. And the good thing is you can delete the card. So if the card was compromised as well, you can delete the card instantly, make a whole new one, back in business. Okay? So these are just things because, especially a lot of people now running remote teams and hiring freelancers and agencies, and a lot of agencies basically just, hire people from around the world and using AI and stuff. There is a big security risk. And so I just do that. It costs me nothing. Air wallets cost you nothing. I know it does now, but I think if you got $10,000 in one of their accounts, it's free a month. Otherwise, it's $29 base plan. I'm not affiliated with them. I just, as I said, use it. It's a good company. Anyway, so make sure you integrate your catalog. If you're using Shopify with Facebook ads, right? I didn't put this down as well. It's super helpful for brands with SKUs. One of the brands I'm running is that heaps of sales, like a constant 5+ ROAS at $100 a day just on that because of DPA ads, right? Catalog, you run DPA ads. Some people run them for cold. I mainly run it for remarketing. VC, I'll run it for view content 30 days. Okay, is really, really, really important. I'll add some more points as well, just as I'm thinking. Don't need to segment your custom audiences super deeply as Facebook does most of the legwork. I knew I'd have some points as I did this. It's free, it's simple, it's set up. I recommend it for everyone, especially building a brand. I know a lot of dropshippers don't really do it because obviously they build their store, it grows, and then they sort of move on to the next. But for brands, this works extremely well. Remember, if you're a dropshipper, I always recommend dropshipping is great for on a budget, transition to building a brand, and that's where you want to use Facebook ads and the app, or Facebook and Instagram ads, or meta ads, whatever you want to call it. Nowadays, I'm used to calling it Facebook ads. It works extremely well. It is such a simple campaign. It's like the equivalent of running a Google Ads search campaign, right? It's so simple. I'm going to make another video on that. I love making that one. Make sure you use Facebook and Instagram accounts linked to your business manager, right? So I've seen people where they haven't linked their Facebook and Instagram account. You're running ads, you will get followers and people engage. It takes 5 seconds. You just integrate the page and the Instagram, done. With WhatsApp, I find that hasn't been that successful for me. I mean, it depends on what business, but just integrate it more with your Facebook or your Instagram itself, not in the ads. I just haven't found it to be very successful for me, although WhatsApp is growing greatly, and that's why Facebook is starting to run more ads there. So don't discount that. That's just as of right now, that's been my experience. Make sure you run your ad account in your time zone, right? So for me, my time zone here is AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time, right? Don't think that if you're targeting US, you put it in US, put it in yours, because you will run your campaigns poorly. And make sure your currency is in your currency, so you avoid currency transaction fees as well, because it charges in the currency that you set to. So because it runs on a 24-hour time zone, set it in the time zone at midnight in your ad account time zone. Doesn't matter what the time is in America, even if you're targeting it, do it in your time zone. Facebook automatically optimizes. It just automatically optimizes based on all the data, millions of data points that they would have. Okay. Make sure you set your new campaigns and ad set for midnight. So as I said, campaign and ad set. Obviously, you can't schedule ads really, but you don't really need to. And so for midnight, you're starting it always at the same point, giving it the best thing. Because I've done it where I've run campaigns, turned it on at 11 o'clock at night in my ad account time zone, and it spent all my day's budget in an hour, and it failed miserably. All right? I've done that. Okay, and I guarantee you will do that. So my advice is to not, and that's why if you want to turn it on, either you stay up or you duplicate the whole campaign, schedule it for midnight. I just duplicate because I find starting fresh it's just worked better for me. Okay. One of the things you'll find with Facebook that I'm sort of alluding to, that's the problem with social media ads, is there's a layer of control that you can't fully have. There is a bit of luck, I guess, so to speak. There's it's 95% skill, but there's a 5% luck, right? That's an uncontrollable thing. You speak to anyone that's running Facebook ads, and there's that 5% unknown element that no one will ever be able to fully control, right? Remember, it's social media. It's not 100% logical, okay? Make sure you always follow the latest marketing trends, as for instance, now Advantage Plus campaigns. So I've actually been testing more just Advantage Plus rather than manual campaigns, where I would run ad set budget optimization on lower budget. Now I just go for ad set budget Advantage Plus. The benefit is it's basically more AI driven. it uses all the placements, and Facebook does more of the legwork for you. Okay. And I find that works really well. It's like the equivalent of now that Performance Max is actually performing quite well. Okay. Now, each have their benefits, but I actually use that, especially as you scale, you will transition entirely to Advantage Plus. It just does better. When doing your targeting, focus on single big interests. Okay. So, now I'll go back into here. I've just given some points. Okay, so close out of that. So, big audiences, right? Is that, so if, yes, I know. I've made some other, obviously, tests here as well. Go away. I might make a new campaign. No, not view. Discard drafts, discard. Thank you. Seems that I don't have I don't have the button to make it for some reason. I think that's because I haven't added that. Anyway, so let's go into one with audience. It's because I'm just trying to show this as an example, right? So we don't want to go custom audience, right? So you can see here these are custom audiences that are quote unquote ready. But that's if you're doing custom audiences. You want to go detailed targeting because that's essentially cold. You don't want to layer them. You just want to go, let's say if I was targeting, I was in the makeup niche, I'd go Cosmopol. I don't know. I'm just going to put in fashion, right? Very broad. There we go. So fashion and makeup magazines. Look how massive that is. Now that's just absolutely insane. I just look through here and what I'll do is I'll literally just type in, I always forget, once I see it, it'll make perfect sense. Vogue. There we go. That's a good one. Vogue. So if I type in Vogue, 236 million people, right? That's not luck. Obviously, that's massive, right? And so if we, why can't I see the audience size? Oh, there we go. So you can see the audience size, and I think that's because I'm targeting worldwide right now. But that if I change that to United States, okay, you can see that it's pretty large still, right? So generally I go 2 to 15 million, but that's still within that scope, right? So, for that type of audience, I'd be perfectly fine with that because it's a massive niche, very engaged audience, okay? So that's what I would do there as well. With Remark, make sure, I'll move on to the next point, make sure as you scale and you get 1,000 site visitors to make lookalike audiences. So what you want to do is you make a custom audience, all website visitors, last 30 days, and then you want to make lookalikes. Now, to make the lookalikes, audience manager, where is that? Audiences. There we go. Audiences. So this is where you make all your audiences, and you can see here I can create a custom audience, and then I can also. So if I want to make a custom audience, I go on website, I go next. And I choose pixel events, last 30 days. You can go up to 180 days. Give it a name. If you're making a lot of audiences, make sure you have a good naming convention. And you want to go, let's say, like view content, because that's generally what you'll do in e-commerce. Oops, not that one. And you want to refine by, you can either go, there's a number of variables, right? Depends what one you want to go with. I go URL and I'll go / what the URL is. If you've got a lot of SKUs and stuff, you could go currency, content type, content IDs is the unique content ID. Like let's say on Shopify, you'll have a unique content ID. I just go URL. It's just my preference. There's no right or wrong answer there. And then from there, you can create lookalikes. And this is where, you choose a lookalike. So let's say that. And then I want to choose lookalikes and you go 1 to 10. Now I break it up into 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and then I'll run them as separate ad sets. Okay, so that's just sort of how I do it. Once you find your lookalikes, if they're working, go 0 to 5, 6 to 10, and then 0 to 10. Works quite well. I've had ones where 0 to 10, huge audiences, works really, really well. So just huge audiences, don't overcomplicate it when it comes to that. Make sure you're using UGC. There's plenty of AI UGC tools out there now to use. That is essential now. UGC has always been essential, but it's especially essential now, especially now with AI. It's pretty cool what you can do. Never scale hard, even if it sounds good, but it never works. No matter what anyone says, your profits will die long-term, guaranteed. I have scaled so many ad accounts aggressively, and it's all backfired in my face. Okay, performance drops dramatically. Okay, slow and steady really is the way to go. Okay, even on Google Ads, you don't scale heavily. You just don't when it comes to ads. If you want to scale heavily, influencer marketing is where you'll spend your dollars more. That's going to get a better ROI. Whereas with ads, you don't. Okay, you just don't, and it's not wise. Slow and steady. Keep your profits. Grow methodically, not recklessly. Make sure when running your ads, focus on. I had this in my last video, I think, as well. Focus on cost per purchase over ROAS. You'll always find long term that cost per purchase does better than ROAS. Every ad account in the dawn of man will be that way. ROAS is not indicative of success. Cost per purchase is, right? You could get one purchase and get a massive $500 order. Your ROAS might be 100. But I guarantee if that one doesn't get another purchase and you scale that, the ROAS will just continue to drop, won't it? Drop. Whereas if you focus on one that might get $30 cost per purchase with a ROAS of 4, and you can keep that, it'll stay at 4, right? It looks good in the beginning, but everything long term, as you're building a business over 6, 12 months, it will drop, okay? I guarantee, right? So always focus on cost per purchase as your core key metric that you want to look at. Unique cost per click, clicks, CTR, all of that are important, but it's cost and add to cart, view content, all of that are important, but it's cost per purchase that is the most important. You'll find that the more that you can cut your cost per purchase, the ROAS will go up, because what you're looking for is you want to get consistency of sales, and that's what drives your cost per purchase down, and then your ROAS will go up because you're getting more opportunities for people to get through the door. Remember, on the back end is where you get more of the sales. You can use, let's say like the Debutify theme to increase your conversion rates, average order value, all of that, right? You can use post-purchase upsell apps to increase average order value. You can use email marketing to increase average order value and get more retention customers. So just remember that you on ads, your focus is as many customers, and on the back end, you maximize the amount you get from those customers. Okay, so don't just focus on flashy ROAS, right? I know that it looks all good and all, but it long term doesn't work, right? So Facebook ads and meta ads are great. I just have to say it, right? Google ads. I've always been a big advocate for Google ads. Diversify. Even if you're literally just running a brand search, I have videos on it. If you want a video on it, let me know. I will make another updated video on it. Brand search is just mint. There's just no other way to describe it, right? When scaling, I recommend a 20% increase in budget weekly maximum and leave it to optimize. Okay, so as you get more seasoned in it, you'll see similarities of what ages and genders and that do well. Don't change it in that ad set. You'll break the learning. Learning phase is over 30 days generally. Don't change it. You do it. You might go back into the learning phase for that ad set or campaign. Leave it. It's optimized. If you want to optimize it further, make another campaign, see if it performs better. I literally just a week ago did this as a test, and I found that the more optimized one that was logically going to save me probably 20-30% cost per purchase performed significantly worse. Now, it's still early days, but logically it makes no sense. You sit back and like, what's going on here? This makes no sense. And that's why what you got to do when you run Facebook ads and stuff is factor that in and duplicate it. Don't touch what's working. Really, please don't. Duplicate, test, even if it costs you a bit more, just so you don't absolutely destroy yourself. Because you might turn off that other campaign and thinking, all right, I'll turn it back on. It's not the same. It's not the same. It just is something that you can't control. That's that 5% you can't control. It's not the same. So when scaling, again, 20% weekly. So if you're spending $100 and somewhere a day, and you spend $700 that week, increase it 20% above that. So $120. Doesn't sound like big leaps, and it's not. It's controlled spending. Okay. Again, when you trim, duplicate the ad set, see it performs best. Even in that campaign, you can have 50 ad sets per campaign. Don't downplay the importance of ad account learning. As I've sort of alluded to many times, ad account learning, so important, right? You've bought all that data. You've trained your pixel. You've trained, most importantly, the ad account. That's why you want to keep it safe. And that's why I put all these measures as much as possible. I should also add, I didn't add it, have backup payment methods in case one fails. Have multiple backup payment methods, right? Multiple cards, PayPal, bank transfer, whatever. Have it as a backup. It will default to it as a secondary thing to make sure, because you, as much as possible, you don't ever want to have it so your ad account is not working, because then it might lose its mojo, so to speak, right? So seriously, it is a real thing, and you will find that as you go down this path. I recommend also, as an additional backup, sharing your assets with a backup BM. I literally might just call it backup BM. Have your assets in there. You never touch it. You only have access, so that you're controlling who has access. Limit it. And basically, so if your business manager gets suspended, you have it in another account and you can keep running ads. And what I mean by that is your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your WhatsApp, your catalog, your ad accounts, any asset is related to your business, have it shared across, right? You can make business asset groups, share it all as one business asset group, and you're good to go, right? Just have it as a backup. I've had that once when my business manager was suspended because of my profile, because of something compromised. I don't know what happened. Once I restored it, it was all fine, but I was able to run ads, and it was just, it's just an important thing to have, right? Even if it's a business manager not tied to you and a close friend or something, or parents or family, do it as a backup. Backups are very important on Facebook. Make sure you're running your remarketing campaigns at 20%, right? And so I've had this in my other video as well, but it's important to say 20% tops is sort of what I find is the golden rule. So if you're spending $100 a day, you want 20% on top, not 20% cut. So 20% on top. So you won't be spending $80 cold, $20 remarketing. You will spend $100 cold, $20 remark, $120. Okay. So it seems to be the golden rule, because otherwise your frequency gets too high and your cost per purchase will drop. Your ROAS will drop. Your cost per purchase will go up, and your ROAS will drop. Just seems to work well. Even at high ad spend, I've seen max 30%. And even then, that was really pushing it. And that was for a business with a high average order value and a really established brand. But otherwise, it doesn't work. Partnership ads are becoming bigger. I'm noticing partnership ads are becoming bigger, where you can run partnerships. I've personally never done it. But basically, under here, there's Partnership Ads Hub. You can link up with, let's say, like an influencer, and run ads through their profile as yourself. I don't know exactly how it works. I just haven't done it. I'm sure it's not hard, but they're doing quite well as you build out your brand. And see, those things are why you build a brand, because you get those opportunities. Otherwise you're not going to, right? So that's really important. Don't ignore threads. I literally saw it was just announced as of today, less than a week ago. So I'll be running ads on threads. Why not? It's 350 million users. I'm going to take a piece of that pie if I can. Most of the time, the product sells itself, right? So I find on Facebook, the product really does sell itself. You need some nice creatives, but the product is king. As long as it's like anything, right? I hope the people that are watching my channel trust me, because I know what I'm talking about. It's the same with anything, right? You trust someone that they know what they're talking about. Would you go and buy a car from a banker? No, because they don't know, right? So, my point is that, you buy from things that are reputable, trustworthy, and people that know what they're talking about. They've done training, they've done the work, they've done the due diligence, they've failed a billion times. Very important, right? So the product really sells itself. Don't segment. And lastly, don't segment your custom audiences super deeply. Just don't. I used to do one day, 3 day minus 1 day, 7 day minus 3 in 1 day. It takes a while to set up. What you're doing is you make 1, 3, 7, 14 remarketing. Say But really all you need to do is run the one remarketing ad with different ad versions, and it works quite well now. So that's pretty much it. Funnily enough, literally just hit 30 minutes. So that's really good. Those are all my main key points. I wanted this to be a summary. I'm going to do more Facebook ad stuff as well. I am going to do Google ads. I do miss doing these types of videos. I want to do more videos in this sense. I'm just better at it. My videos are a bit more advanced and can be a bit more hard to follow. But that's sort of where I want to sit. I want to make more advanced content as sort of go down this path. I have a lot of experience there, and I want to give more of that value as well. Let me know what types of videos you would like as well in the description. Not in the description, in the comments. I'm after feedback, as I'm trying and curate content and make it sort of in this style, and I hope that sort of you like it. But other than that, thank you very much for your time today. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.